Hello everyone and welcome to our today's video in which we will see the timing diagram of HTA instruction. We have already discussed about the timing diagram of MVI instruction, MOV instruction and many more. So if you want to check them out, you can get the link from the I button. And as the timing diagram of these instructions are combinations of different machine cycles, so I will also recommend you to watch out my video on the timing diagram of different machine cycles. So coming to HTA instruction, I hope you all know the use of this instruction. HTA instruction is used to store the accumulator content into some memory address that is given along with this instruction. So if we say that HTA C050 hex, it means that the content of accumulator should be stored at C050 hex memory address. Okay, and this is a 3-byte instruction. Why 3 byte? The first byte will be occupied by its opcode. So the opcode of HTA instruction is 32 hex. Alright, so this was the first byte. The second byte and the third byte will be occupied by this address. So the second byte will be occupied by the lower order address, that is 50 hex, and the third byte will be occupied by the higher order address, that is C0 hex. And let's say this HTA instruction is executed at some location C010 hex. Okay, so at C010 hex we are having this HTA instruction in which we need to store the content of accumulator into C050 hex address. And since it is a 3-byte instruction, so it is fetched in 3 different machine cycles. So what are those machine cycles? See, the first one is to fetch the opcode. So the first machine cycle will be opcode fetch. Then next we have to read these addresses. That means we need to read the memory address. So both of these steps are memory read. The last machine cycle will be a memory write machine cycle. Why so? Because see, after reading the address, we need to write the content of accumulator into this address. So this is a memory write machine cycle which stores the accumulator content into the memory. Now let's draw the timing diagram. So at C010 hex we are fetching the opcode. Then in the next location C011 hex, this 50 hex address will be read, and in the next location C012 hex, C0 hex data will be read. So as I have said, it will be containing an opcode fetch cycle where we have 4 T states, then 2 memory read cycle to fetch both the addresses, and the last one is memory write cycle to write the content of accumulator into the location. So in total there are 4 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 T states, that is 13 T states. So first of all we will draw the clock pulses as usual like this. Then 80 to 87 lines. So these are multiplexed address and data line. First of all we will draw the higher order address. Okay, so this will contain the higher order address, that is these datas. So in all the 3 machine cycles the higher order address is same, that is C0 hex. In opcode fetch cycle this higher order address will be specified in the first 3 T states, right? And the 4th T state remains unspecified. Then again the same higher order address will be specified in the memory read cycle, and the same address will be continued to the memory write cycle also. So the higher order address is C0 hex. So we will write it here. See here, in memory write cycle also we have written the higher order address as C0, as the data is going to be stored in this address whose higher order address is C0 hex. If it was something different, then we would have written that address here. Now the ALE signal. So we know that ALE signal will remain high in the first T state of all the machine cycle. So in T1 it will be high, then in T5 machine cycle it will be high, again in T8 it will be high, and then in T11 T state it will be high. So When this is high, it indicates that 80 to 87 line will carry the address lines. So in the first T state, the lower order address will be specified in 80 to 87 line. Okay, here in T1, AL is high. So T1 will be containing the lower order address. While opcode fetch, here you can see that the higher order address is C0 hex and the lower order address is 10 hex, right? So we will write 10 hex here as this is the lower order address. So this was the address. Now in T2 and T3, it will be acting as data lines as AALE signal is low here. So what data it will be containing? It will be fetching the opcode. So 32 hex will be written in this location. Alright. In the same way, the lower order address will be written in T5 state. So what is the lower order address? This is 11 hex. You can see here after 10 hex, 11 hex is the next lower order address. So 11 hex will be written here, and in next two T states, that is T6 and T7 T states, it will be containing the data. So what is the data that is going to be fetched from C011 hex address? This is 50 hex, right? So 50 hex will be fetched from here. Similarly, we will draw the next memory read machine cycle. Here the next location is 12 hex and the data to be fetched is C0 hex. So it will be containing the address, and then here it will be containing the data. This is 12 hex and this is C0 hex. Now in the last machine cycle, that is memory write machine cycle, in what address we need to write the data of the accumulator? See here, we need to write the data in C050 hex address. The higher order address is specified here and the lower order address will be specified in the first T state here. So it will be 50 hex and the next two T state will contain the data that is going to be written in the memory. So what is that data? See here, we are storing the content of accumulator into this location. So whatever is the content of accumulator, that will be written in this data lines. So let's say the accumulator is containing FE hex. Okay, this is the data. That means we need to write FE hex here. Okay, so this is the 80 to 87 lines. Next, we will move for the RD bar and WR signals. Now, for RD bar signal, this signal will become low when a data is read into the memory. Okay, so in what T states a data is going to be read? See here, in T2 and T3, a data that is opcode is getting fetched through the data lines. Okay, so this is a read instruction. So the RD bar signal will become low in T2 and T3 T states. So it will be like this. Okay, this is going low, then again it will be high. Now here in T6 and T7 states, again our data is read, right? So it will again go low here. Then in the next memory read cycle, again our data C0 hex is read from T9 and T10 states. So it will again go low and then it will remain high, as in memory write machine cycle we don't need to read any data. Then talking about WR signal, it will become low when a write instructions comes. So in all these T states, T12 and T13 are the only T cycles where a data is going to be written in the memory. So this WR signal will become low only in T12 and T13 states. And in all the remaining T cycles, it will remain high, as these machine cycles are not going to do any write operation. Now in the last, we have to write the status of all these signals for the different machine cycles. So from that table of status signals, we will write their corresponding values of the different machine cycles. The first one is the opcode fetch cycle. In opcode fetch cycle, the value of IO M bar signal remains 0, S1 signal is 1 and S0 signal is also 1. Okay, In memory write machine cycle, the value of IO M bar signal remains 0 because this is a memory instruction. So M bar will remain 0, that is, it is a memory read instruction. S1 will be 1 and S0 will be 0. Then again, this is also a memory read cycle. So here also the same values 0, 1, 0. Then in memory write cycle, IO M bar is 0, S1 is 0 and S0 is 1. So these are the corresponding values, and that's all about the timing diagram of ST instruction. And you can also watch out the other videos on 8085 microprocessor and its assembly language program through my channel. And if you like this video, please subscribe the channel to support me. See you in the next video. Thank you.